So I'm just there and he starts messing with it and it's like blood's coming out of it. And I'm just like, this is horrible. This is not a 1 day in and out procedure. All the guys are doing it. 8 weeks in, post my vasectomy, I still have stitches on my left testicle and I'm still carrying this around. So better to know the info. I'm going to give it to you straight. I am not a medical professional. And here's what my experience was. So Valentine's Day, my wife comes to me, gives me a set of paperwork from her doctor, says, here's information about a vasectomy. I read it, I put it on my desk, I ignored it for a little bit. And then she came back to me, come on, it's time, you got to schedule this. So I quickly had her schedule, went to the doctor. He felt around, make sure I had my vas deferens was easily identifiable, perfect. He has me sign some paperwork that says, you have up to 1 month to change your mind about this procedure. I set the date. I show up for the date. They ask you to shave your testicles before you go there. Otherwise, a nurse will have to do it. Fantastic. Of course, I made an inappropriate joke stating it depends on how the nurse looks. Maybe I'll let the nurse do it or not. Again, male, female, I don't care. But that didn't go over well. But regardless, I show up for the vasectomy. And here's the procedure. You go in, you lay down on kind of those typical clinical beds. It's not a big surgery operation, just a little bed. It's got a sheet. You take your clothes off below the waist. You're laying down there. And they will swab it with iodine. Actually, sorry, right before that, they give you a giant needle booster of, I think it's penicillin in your butt. And you actually are taking antibiotics. In my case, I started taking antibiotics the day before, the day of, and several days after. So that's great. I show up there, I'm laying down. They're doing their thing. They put a big sticker for the cauterizer and they stick it to your thigh. And in this case, fortunately, I had a mask. They made me wear a mask because I was just biting my tongue and all this. So what they do, the first thing they do is they take a needle, which feels like a giant needle, and they stick it on the right side. They jab you, and it's supposed to be getting numb. It's whatever they do for anesthesia, but you feel the first 30 seconds of that. They keep poking and poking and poking and poking. And it's the kind of pain where you're like, should it feel this bad? Am I a wuss? And maybe I am a wuss, but it's like, oh, it feels horrible. And then after about 30 seconds, it starts to subside. Fantastic. Got that over. They do their thing. You see scalpels. You smell flesh when they're cauterizing. I just didn't even look down there. I just wanted them to do their thing. Fantastic. At some points, I was holding my muscle so tight that I got a spasm in my back. You do feel gentle pulling on the testicle. Great. Then, of course, there's a whole other side they have to do. So again, the needles. That was, I believe, the worst part other than smelling your burning flesh. And so you go through both sides. And I unfortunately made the mistake of asking the assistant there. I asked him, I noticed there are two containers on the counter. One said right and one said left. So I said, okay, what are these for? And he says, oh, those are to take samples for the lab of the vas deferens. I was like, okay, that's great. So what are you all testing for? Cancer or something like that? They said, no, it's just confirmation that we actually cut your vas deferens versus something else. So, okay, that's really not what I want to hear. This is like a common thing. What else are they going to cut? My nerve, my blood supply, my urethra? I mean, I don't even know. I don't know the anatomy there, but that certainly didn't sound good. Long story short, I leave. Yes, it's sore. I made the mistake of treating it like everyone told me, oh, just easy in and out procedure, etc. Drove home, sat down, had my meetings. Everything's fine. Fast forward, in about a week, it should heal. Well, I look in a week, my right side is healing nicely, a little bit itchy and red, but it's healing nicely. My left side, the stitches dissolved, but the hole didn't. So I had like this opening gap on my, like maybe an inch long, and it was like yellow stuff was coming out. I'm like, this isn't good. It hasn't sealed. It's not healing. So call the doctor, tell them what's going on. They prescribe me antibiotics and a meeting in 3 days. So fantastic. So I'm going, this thing isn't healing. Antibiotics helped it from the color, but it's like an open, and excuse my language, but it looks like I told my wife, I'm like, I have a vagina on my left testicle. This is not the intended outcome of a vasectomy. And it just stayed open. It stayed open. I go to the doctor. He looks at it and he says, yeah, Yeah, it's going to heal on its own. There's nothing to do at this point. I said, really? So you're going to let me just walk out of your office with a vagina on my left testicle? And he said in his accents, he said, jokingly, of course, it's a small vagina. So great. So I leave with a vagina on my left testicle, and he said it would take about 4 to 6 weeks to heal. So fast forward 4 to 6 weeks. 2 days ago, kids are swimming. I want to see if I could swim. It's been healing slowly, no more infection, great. And so I take one more look at it, and I see what looks like a little, like it's healed up, but there's this little, like here, it's like little red thing sticking out, like the end of an eraser from where it's healing. But it's bright red, and it's not, and it's shiny like an organ sticking out. So then I got really frustrated, and I'm like, this thing just keeps going on, like just heal already. Like, what is this? Is it the vas deferens sticking out? What happens if there's an ejaculation? Like, will it blow up like a circus balloon? Like, I have no idea, but it was really frustrating. And I was trying to like see if can I poke it back in? Like, what is this? Like, now it's like I have a vagina on my testicle with a penis sticking out of it. Like, it looked like it was like small, but then if you touch it, it got longer. And it just, I'm like, this is not the intended outcome. I just wanted this thing to be over. So I was truly frustrated. It's not a simple thing. My point is, it's not a simple thing. So yesterday, called the doctor's office, had to challenge getting a person. So I drove to the doctor's office. I told them what's going on. Fortunately, he was able to see me right before he went on vacation. And he takes a look at it. And this guy's been doing vasectomies for like 30 years. And he tells me something you don't want. I'm glad he's honest, but he tells me something you don't want any doctor to tell you. He's like, I've never seen this before. I have no idea what this is. And I'm just like, thank you. I'm like, is it the vas deferens? Like, I don't think so. It's not quite the color of vas deferens. Maybe it's flesh. Maybe it's an inflamed skin. I don't know. So I'm just there, and he starts messing with it, and it's like blood's coming out of it. And I'm just like, this is horrible. This is not a one day in and out procedure. All the guys are doing it. So then I, fortunately, he was able to accommodate me before he went on vacation. I waited a little bit, took me to surgery immediately, cut off the flesh, verified it wasn't the vas deferens or connected to the vas deferens. And I got another stitch. I got another 5 jabs in my left testicle of numbing medication, cauterizing smoke coming up in the air. And this is like exactly what I didn't want to happen. Now it's like the second time I'm going under the knife for this. So here I am one day after. Again, got this going on. It's fantastic as I'm sitting in Zoom meetings. Fortunately, people, they can't see. So that's good. I'm glad we're working remote these days. And that's my story. So I hope this story gets you at least 2 to 10 years, maybe infinite runway. If you're someone who your partner, your spouse is saying, oh, just get a vasectomy. It's just a one-day procedure in and out. Here's a scenario where it wasn't quite that. And I'm 2 months into this thing and it's still healing. And who knows? Who knows what'll happen? I'll keep you posted though. And please feel free to share this story with others. If you want to buy some runway, share this video, because there's always, the fine print. Oh, X% of people have, testicular pain for the rest of their life that's chronic. I mean, there are risks here. So thought I would share my story, and hopefully it'll make a difference in your life. It'll make a little impact, at least give a reality check to the ease and simplicity of a vasectomy, but also the complication sides of it. Thank you.